Upshot. My feet pace a shiny tiled hospital floor, tapping sounds in sync with a racing heart. Eyes roll up and down like slot machines. Return to stare at a TV in a hospital waiting room. I watch your 10-year-old grandson on a gurney, wheeled into an operating room. Upshot of handling your target shotgun. Your guilt hidden in a drawer full of bullets. An accident? What do you mean accident?
Wow.
Rosemary Von Wald. This is a prompt, a poem to a favorite poet. Ode to Joy Harjo. Looking at your picture, I am struck by your dusky beauty, a gift from your Creek father and French Cherokee mother. I also see a lover of language and truth, a writer of poems who gets to the heart of the matter. Growing up in Oklahoma among other Native Americans, you saw things they didn't. I just finished reading your poem, Remember, and I cried over the carnage. The last line restored me. Quote, remember the dance that language is, that life is, remember, unquote. I laughed when I read, remember the moon, know who she is. I met her in a bar once in Iowa City. I would have loved to have been there, drinking an old-fashioned with you and the moon. You tell us you are guided by the voice of an old Creek Indian within you. Quote, remember the wind, remember her voice. She knows the origin of the universe. I heard her singing a Kiowa war dance song at the corner of 4th and Central once, unquote. Were you guided by him then? You say you write your dreams down because they tell you a lot. They tell me a lot also about you and myself.
The Love Song of J. Alfred Bangster. Let us go then, T.S., you and I, when the afternoon is baking under the Palm Beach sky, like a fat lady stretched upon a beach towel. Let us go through certain manicured streets, the wealthy retreats of fabulous nights in overpriced hotels, and neo-fusion restaurants with golden shells. Streets that follow like a dogmatic argument of devious intent that lead us to an overwhelming question. Oh, do not ask, what is it? Let us make our visit to Mar-a-Lago. In the room, men and women come and go, talking of politicos. The red, white, and blue that rubs its stripes upon the naive minds. The smoke and mirrors that works its deception on the naive minds. Licked its tongue into the corners of religion. Lingered upon the books that fill the schools. Let fall upon the unknowing the dung that falls from forked tongues. Slipped by the children made a sudden leap, and seeing that it was an unsuspecting sheep, curled once about the house and stabbed it in its sleep. In the room, men and women come and go, talking of politicos.
Wow.
Thank you.
My name is Bob All. This is a prose poem. Three guys walk into a bar. It shares a parking lot with a rundown truck stop in North Florida at the edge of a ruined little town called Perry, which was a perfectly pleasant place at the intersection of the Georgia-Florida Parkway and Highways 441 and State 7, with lots of motels and restaurants, until the federal interstate highway system sucked away most of the traffic, draining its life and commerce. I never found out what those guys were doing in Perry at the time. Maybe they didn't know themselves. Nobody invited them, they just showed up. But once there, it's not so surprising they'd wind up at that bypassed truck stop, because there's nowhere else to go in Perry at night. And it's not at all amazing that they would recognize each other. Mohammed in his dusty, mud-colored robe, bewhiskered and smelling faintly of camel dung. JC outrageously overdressed in that long and flowing and immaculate white robe and sandals, blazing blue eyes seeming to invite a radical response, like crucifixion maybe, for overacting. And Buddha with his legendary belly and that self-satisfied smirk. Mo probably reminded them that he was the last and greatest prophet of the one God, and then the freak in the white robe claims he is the actual Son of God, not just one of the dime a dozen prophets. And then Buddha, all humility and innocent eyes, pipes up and says, he's been around a lot longer than either of them, and he knows absolutely nothing about any God, and anybody who claims to know anything about her, yes, he said her, should maybe be locked up somewhere. Oh my, somebody would have to throw a punch after all that. To make a long story short, those three went at it, wrecked the place, and the cops had to be called to haul away all these weirdos, bruised and battered, and lock them up in Perry's little jail. All three were in the police lineup when the truck stop manager was asked to point to the guy who started it. He told the police, I can't choose one over the other because of the First Amendment. But I don't want to let them off either, because somebody should pay for all the damage they've done. Later, he told me he only wanted to be fair to everyone. So we had to tell the cops, they are all guilty as hell.
Cheryl Fosberg, Rondo, written to the prompt of write a poem to one of your favorite poets. Dear Mr. Frost, I write to say, stopped by those snowy woods today. The years roll back to days before, to folks I'd love to see once more, to roads that went the other way. But choices made are here to stay, and can't now be erased away, to live another poem of yours, dear Mr. Frost. You're the first who taught me to play with word pictures that would portray places in my heart I explore, road now traveled forevermore. So thanks is what I wrote to say, dear Mr. Frost.